Alright guys, so we got a full day of eating today. Foods I eat, timings, to stay physically and mentally sharp as well. So for me, food isn't just about how I look, it's about how I feel, how I perform for work in the gym. So I'm going to bring you through everything today. We'll touch off supplementations. So it's Sunday, 21st of December, 6 a.m. I never set an alarm clock, so I wake up when I wake up, which is normally around 5:30, 6. I've been up since 5:30, but as you might be able to tell, I'm a little bit tired, so I needed some time to get my energy up so I can bring you through it. So I'm not a zombie talking to you through the screen. The lighting isn't great in here either, but let's kick off the day, and how we do that is with supplementation. If you're waking up and you're going through your day and you have like brain fog, firstly it's probably a lot down to the nutrition that you're consuming, but not being hydrated as well is so important. So first thing in the morning, we should touch on water. That's always first thing I have. With my electrolytes, with my lion's mane, and with my creatine. So creatine, do take this around training as well, but there's been a lot of studies now as well that it does benefit cognitive brain function as well. So first thing in the morning, we're getting creatine, 5 grams of this, scoop of electrolytes. I think this is 1,000 mg of lion's mane. And then of course, we gotta whack a massive cup of coffee. I'm going back to the instant because it's just convenient. All right, so we finish off electrolytes, get the caffeine into us, supplements, and that's how we start off the day, first thing every morning. So I don't eat first thing in the morning. Right now what I'm gonna do is do my morning alignment routine, which happens every single day. I've started a course. I haven't started a course, I'm 12 weeks into a course, so I'm actually finishing off the course. So I do that every single morning as well. That's kind of my staple of the day. So depending on my workload, how long will I do the course? I might do half an hour, or I might sometimes do 2 hours, depending on work demands those days. Today we are Sunday, so I'll probably do about an hour today. Then I have a YouTube video that I do need to record. So for that first period of the day, when I'm doing like my kind of study, when I'm recording content and stuff, I don't like eating in and around like recording, or I definitely won't be having like a high carb meal. Depending when I'm recording, if it's later in the day, I might have some high fats, high protein. But earlier in the day, and the way my day is structured today, it will literally just be caffeine, water, and that'll be it up until I get my work block done and I get my YouTube video recorded. Then we'll have meal 1, and then we're on to the next stage of the day, which I will talk you through. But that's kind of a quick overview of how I'll set up my mornings. So I'm literally fasting for now and getting some deep work done. All right, so we're out for the morning walk. We're currently in Dubai Hills. This is where staying back, one of the buildings here. So I actually need to sort out a long-term gaff. So I think Dubai Hills potentially, when I come back, will be the spot. It's freezing this morning, by the way. And I'm just thinking, I'm back to Ireland in 2 days for the Christmas. So I definitely better get a bigger jacket than this, because fuck me, it is cold. So now, God knows what Ireland's going to be like. Just out for a walk now, and I like to normally I probably would realistically go for my morning walk first thing in the morning before I kind of sit down, do any work, but the sunrise is actually quite late here at the moment now. It's like 7:30ish. It starts to kind of come up. So I want to get out, get my steps in, but get some daylight exposure as well. And obviously that helps with your circadian rhythm, your body's natural body clock. Because one thing I noticed when I was living in Dubai a couple of years ago, and I was like living on the marina, I'd get up, I'd do my walk first thing in the morning. It was dark. I'd then come home, I'd work all day, I'd then go to the gym, I'd then come back, I'd work, and then I'd get the rest of my steps in the evening. And I was like feeling so drained, and my energy was low, and my sleep was so bad, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I was kind of like analyzing my day, and I realized, okay, it's actually, I'm getting zero sunlight. There was like zero sunlight whatsoever. So essentially what I ended up realizing was I need to prioritize getting sunlight. And I started doing that. Then I just changed my routine around a little bit and noticed the changes like instantly, straight away. So if you're not getting daylight, if you're not getting sunlight, if it's not in your routine right now, which I know it might sound mad to say, But if you are like getting steps in the morning or getting steps in the evening and not getting any throughout the day, definitely implement that into your day. Just even if it's sitting outside with a cup of coffee for 5-10 minutes, just make sure you try to get as much daylight as early as possible, because it will massively help with your sleep, which then obviously has a knock-on effect onto all the other areas. So the plan now, box off a couple of steps, go back and have one YouTube to record, and then we'll get meal 1 into us. Okay, so what you're all here to see, meal number 1. We got eggs, 1 egg, egg whites, 2 slices of sourdough bread, 1 beef burger, and then just a small touch of veg here. With the veg, I don't eat a crazy amount of veg, especially not early on, because sometimes, whoa, what's going on? The way my diet is set up now and kind of my food and my food choices really comes down to like how I feel. How do I feel after I consume a meal? Like if the bodybuilding days when you're training and eating, like first of all, if you're training and eating like a bodybuilder and you're trying to operate a business, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You need to set your meals up so your digestion's in check. You're feeling mentally sharp. You're not getting brain fog. If you're waking up and slamming like a fucking 100 grams of oats with whey protein, berries, peanut butter, and then you're going to try go in and do work block, you're just mentally not as sharp 100%. And I've ate that way, I've done that. It's just, don't do it. Obviously you have to go through certain stages and certain phases with your physique to get yourself to a position, but right now it's about feeling sharp, looking sharp, and then just performing my best physically and mentally. That's where I'm at right now. So this meal right here, sourdough bread, we got our carbohydrates, easy to digest. This is going to be pre-workout, so I'll go train after this. Sourdough bread, good whack of carbs, obviously high protein with the beef burger and the egg whites. Then we have some fats from the beef burger and obviously the egg, and then just a little bit of veg, especially pre-training. Want to make sure digestion's in a good spot. If you eat a load of veg before you go training, it might just not digest quite well and you might feel that kind of regurgitation while you're trying to train, which we don't want. Boxed off around 6k steps as well when I went out for my morning walk. And I always like to do a little bit of movement before I consume a meal as well, just because, again, digestion. I feel that once I get up, I move around, I get some steps in or get a bit of movement in, digestion is much better. Then I can absorb the food a lot better, rather than, again, if you're waking up and you're having a big meal and it's just sitting in your stomach and you feel heavy and you feel bloated and you're like fucked. It's not a good feeling, especially when you're trying to operate and run a business. It's literally the last thing we're shooting ourselves in the foot, as I said. But yeah, pink Himalayan salt, get those minerals, some electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and we get some a little bit of sriracha sauce. That's about it. So we get stuck into this. Right, we're on to the 3rd cup of coffee. I'd like to say it's going to be my last one, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. For me, guys, caffeine, I'll cut 8 hours before bed. So I literally have a cut-off point at 2 p.m. is when I won't go past that, no matter what. Even if I'm fucking wrecked and I'm working later in the evening, I won't do it, because it just massively affects my sleep. And sleep is number one. Sleep is the foundation. And I feel like the older I get and the more in tune with my nutrition, my training, my recovery I am, the more I feel these little things. It's like I'm like operating a machine, and it's like if there's a little bit off, the output is different. And that's how I feel with myself. It's like if my sleep is off, I feel it the next day. If sleep is number one, to be honest. But then where does the sleep come from? Okay, it comes from your exercise, your movement throughout the day, your daylight exposure, your nutrition that you're consuming on a daily basis, your digestion. Your daily habits essentially dictate how good your sleep is, and then your sleep dictates how well you can perform the next day and how mentally sharp you are. And obviously at the end of the day, the aim of the game is to be physically and mentally as sharp as we fucking can. Especially as business owners, we want to be operating at such a high level that our business just has no other option but to grow and scale. Essentially, it's like the one of the greatest quotes 100% that I've heard is, and it really hit me hard, is you don't have a business problem, you have a personal problem. So if you're in your business right now, you're maybe not scaling or you're not growing or things are out of whack, it's down to you as the business owner at the end of the day. obviously understand that your business is a reflection of you. So if you're having issues, or if there's like systems in your business that you feel like you need the next system or you need the next ad strategy, a lot of the time it actually just comes down to you and your cognitive performance and how you're operating on a daily basis and what your standards are for yourself and in your business. That's what it comes down to. And I learned that the hard way. I found that was a lesson that I learned through business. It's like, okay, my business isn't growing. My business isn't going the way I want it to go. It's like, okay, I heard that quote and I stripped it all back and I was like, okay, I understand why. My standards have massively slipped from my own self. My sleep is out, my energy isn't consistent, my productivity is up and down, I'm having highs and lows, and it's like, that reflects then in your business. So that's a big lesson that I had. But that all comes back to me drinking a cup of coffee, I guess. I won't drink 8 hours before bed. I'll always cut it because caffeine has that 8-hour half-life. So don't want to be affecting the sleep. And I even like to the point of cans of Coke have caffeine in it. I won't even drink a can of Coke, Diet Coke, and I don't really drink it as much anymore. But I used to, like, if it was after 2, I won't even drink it, just because for me my sleep is the most important thing. If I have good night's sleep, I just operate on a different level. If I don't, I can really feel it. So that's where we're at. All right, so it's time for the gym. Intra workout, always water. EAAs, so your EAAs are your essential amino acids. Okay, and these are going to help with muscle growth, they're going to help with recovery. Essentially what they do is they spike your muscle protein synthesis, which is essentially what we want to do. And each time we have a protein serving, that's essentially what we're doing. So we're putting ourselves into a position where we're anabolic. And that's going to help with muscle growth, obviously, along with creating stimulus in the gym and tearing down those muscle fibers. We're then building back your muscle fibers bigger and stronger. Okay, so that's how you're essentially, when you're training and building muscle in the gym, that's essentially what we're doing. We're not actually building muscle in the gym, we're breaking the muscle fibers down. And then through our nutrition, protein, sleep, recovery, we're building them back bigger and stronger, essentially. So we'll have our EAAs and we'll have creatine, which I'm unfortunately all out. And I leave tomorrow, so we might get 3 grams. Not ideal, but it is what it is. So EAAs and the fucking half a gram of creatine, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll have this walk to the gym, and today is just a light session. So it's kind of back end of the week. I'm just going to do a little bit of arms, a little bit of cardio, a little bit of abs. So it won't be long. For me, my training sessions now are literally about an hour long, max. Obviously, if I'm doing a bit of cardio, then it might be a little bit different, but weights, like I used to do the approach of being in the gym for fucking hours and hours, like 2 hours, doing loads of junk volume, whereas now I'm in, just get what needs to get done. Obviously still train hard, still train with a lot of intense, good form, good execution, good intensity, but not to the point where I'm doing a load of shit that is just causing more fatigue and just actually leaving me rolled off for the day. Like I literally used to train back in the day. I used to train for a couple of hours between cardio, between weights, slam a load of really high carbohydrate food first thing in the morning, post workout, and I'd just be fucked up for the day. Like I'd do a leg session, I'd have to go home and sleep. That was like the bodybuilding approach. It's like just way too much volume. Fatigue was creeping up. Trying to do so much output as well. And it's like, you look big. You gain a lot of muscle tissue as well. I did gain a lot of muscle at that time, but it's like, to operate as an actual business owner who's serious about business, it's just, it honestly, you're making business so much harder. Remember, as I said, you don't have a business problem, you have a personal problem. And since I've changed my approach around now and what I obviously teach all my guys, and even like one of the guys now, he's a 7-figure business owner. He has 2 businesses, load of members of staff, and he's been in and out of like fucking different things like keto, high protein, whatever fucking approaches. He just came to me, I don't know what the fuck the guy was doing, but he essentially, he came and like he's always crashed and he's gone to coaches and then they've like gave him the bodybuilding approach where it's like he's on low calories, he's trying to shred body fat, but it's like That's not the right approach as a business owner. It's like driving a car up a hill on fucking empty fuel. It's just not going to last. So if you're a business owner and trying to go up this hill, you need to be fueling it correctly. Your body is the vehicle. Your food, your training, your recovery, that is the fuel that you're putting into yourself. So if you think about it that way, if you're going really aggressive, or you're going this really restrictive bodybuilding approach for a short period of time, you might get quick results. And this is exactly what he told me. He said, 3 weeks in, I'll be fucked, I'll be fatigued. My nervous system would be all completely out of whack, and all I'd want to do is just binge and eat fucking McDonald's. And I've been there myself, so I know exactly, I can relate to it. And that's why the approach that I now take and I coach all my guys through is completely different. There's a 4-step phase. It's completely unique to being a high level operator. And it fucking works. And now I think he's 8 weeks in. We're still in the first phase. So he still has 3 more phases to go through. And he's like, this is fucking game changer. I'm actually doing it this time. Because people think they have a discipline problem, but it's not actually your discipline. If you're a business owner and you've scaled a business, it doesn't come down to your discipline. You're already it takes fucking discipline to build a business. But if you're in the wrong system, you can have all the discipline you want and you're not going to get the results. And it's the same with your body. If the system that you're using for your body does not align to your outcomes and your business and your lifestyle, you can do as much as you fucking want, but the outcomes will not be what you want because the system's wrong. So you need to get the system. And that's the exact 4-step fucking system that we've installed into him now, and he's just operating at a different level. And it's like, it took me a long time to fine tune this, by the way, as well. It's like I've made all the mistakes, but now it's like clockwork. Like clockwork. So we'll get a gym session in. I get wound up sometimes, don't I? I do, I get wound up sometimes. But gym now, change out of this, get a vest on, and let's go. All right, gym boxed off. Got a quick session in, went for a walk afterwards. We got sourdough bread, and we got some rice, chicken, and like a Greek salad. So essentially just getting a decent amount of carbs in with this meal, high protein, and then some fiber and some fats from the black olives, not the Greek yogurt, feta cheese as well. So this is a good, well-balanced like post-workout meal that I'll have. And it's a bit of a bigger meal as well, higher carbs, obviously from earlier on today. And then some vitamins. We have B complex, which is good for brain, nerve function, energy, it helps with fatigue as well. So I have that. I had 2 of them already. I would normally have some vitamin C, vitamin D also, but I actually ran out and I'm going to be moving as of tomorrow, so I'll get them back again. But I normally would every day have vitamin C, vitamin D as well, especially have a lower dose of vitamin D here, but then when I'm back in Ireland the dose will increase, or if I'm in Spain for the kind of winter months, there's not as much sunshine, I'll always get my vitamin D in there as well. Basically, this meal right here, I actually picked it up. I didn't make this one, and I think this is an important thing to touch off as well. Like, you need to have a couple of different options when you're busy throughout the day as well. It's like, if you're not going to be living out of lunch boxes, okay? So what essentially we need to do, if you can prep, obviously that's great, but what I like to do, and for my guys as well, it's like just have a couple of different options for each meal that's quick and easy to make, or else that you know where you can go. You have a couple of different options picked out. You can go there, and you can get your meals. That's the key, okay? Because if you're on the go, or else if you're working. So for today's like a content day. It's Sunday, so it's more of a relaxing day. So it's not as intense. Whereas tomorrow now, like, I'll have a client heavy fulfillment day. So that'll be check-ins with the guys in Total Control, and then the guys in Total Mastery. I'll obviously be on the one-to-one calls, deep diving into everything with them. So I won't be cooking. I'll cook my morning meal, but then I'll get my couple of meals delivered throughout the day. This will be one of them that I'll get delivered. And then in the evening, probably cook in the evening tomorrow. But the key is just to have a couple of places that you know you can go to. And again, with some of the guys that I work with, it's like they bounce between Ireland, UK and Dubai. So it's like in that priming phase, it's like, okay, where we lay the foundation. We figure out what options we can go to, what works for you, and that's actually going to fit into your lifestyle. That you're not like fucking cooking chicken, broccoli and rice and like boxing them up into 20 different fucking lunch boxes. It's like building out these systems that we know essentially it's going to fit into your lifestyle. And once we essentially install these systems and these daily operating systems into your business, it's like fucking clockwork. Okay, so it's like a business. If you're building systems for your business, it then just runs on autopilot. It's the exact same with your training, your nutrition, and your daily process, your daily habits essentially. So, you know, one guy, he bounced between, I think it was Spain, UK and Ireland. So each time we had to build him out a different structure and figure out what was going to work for him, give him those different options. But it's like, now it's done. It's simply done. So he knows, he goes to Ireland, boom, plug in this system. He goes to UK, plug in this system. When he comes to Dubai or when he goes to America, it's like we build out the systems for there and we just plug them straight in then. And once you do it once, a little bit of trial and error, you have them then for life. So that's the key. So I want to show you something here as well. Actually, I was just having a conversation with one of the lads, and this is why it goes so much deeper than just looking good in the mirror. It's about how, let me just read this. So we're having a conversation. He goes, work commitments, had to fire a member of staff. This is something I would normally try to let another director of the company do, but I did it myself. No stress, no worry. I feel like the morning alignment routine, the training, nutrition, the systems we have built is definitely paying off in the little things like this. I'm way more relaxed about situations that would normally really make me anxious and stressed. So that's why it's like, you think this is just about how you look in the mirror. It's about how you operate. It's about how you feel. It's about how you show up and lead your team as well. It's like, once you dial this stuff in, it's honestly a game changer. And he's 6 weeks in. So he's going to turn into a fucking savage by the time we're done. And we bring him through the 4 stages. But I'm going to dig into this and we'll catch you shortly. All right, so we got the last meal of the day going in. We got sweet potatoes, some veg, mince. Nice and easy. I know it probably doesn't look like a whole lot, but does the job. Quick, easy to make. Last couple of bits that I had here in the house. As I said, heading away tomorrow, so just whipped up something quick. Macros, still on point. We'll get that in. That's me done. And then I always leave at least an hour and a half, ideally before bed, because I noticed if I consume food, I used to eat like right before bed, but my sleep would just be absolutely fucked. I got the Oura Ring and it really kind of opened my eyes to it as well. It's like, you definitely want to leave a good gap, even try to get maybe a couple of steps in after that last meal. Otherwise, your resting heart rate can elevate massively and you don't actually recover. Your sleep you don't get into your deep sleep and you just wake up and you're just not as recovered. So leaving a nice little gap there between that last meal and bedtime is very, very, very beneficial. And also, since it's Sunday used to be the day, in the kind of bodybuilding days, we'll call it, was like on point. Everything was on point up until Sunday. Then I used to have my cheat meal. I used to call it on a Sunday. I used to have like a pizza or, you know, just like fucking biscuits and whatever, all sorts, or like burger and chips. And I just used to overconsume on a Sunday. But what I noticed then is every Monday morning, I used to be fucked. I did not want to get up out of bed. I used to be absolutely rolled off. I'd be stuck to the bed. I'd just be brain fog, cognitive function. I'd be sitting down, as I said, it's my heaviest client filming. I just did not want to work. So that's something that's very important to note as well. And like, why I'm not big on cheat meals, me personally. Like I used to have, I'll eat, like after this dinner, I've popcorn there, just to hit the rest of my macros because my carb has been lower today. So I'll have some popcorn and I just feel good. I know I put that into me. I don't wake up feeling like shit. Whereas what I used to do is maybe order like a load of cookies and then I get one and I want one more and then I'd want some fucking ice cream or whatever because it was my cheat meal. I'd just be absolutely rolled off. So now I'll factor things in. If I want a chocolate bar, I'll eat a fucking chocolate bar, but I'm not to the point where I'm like stuffing myself. But I'll happily factor in these little things, and I think that's an important point to touch off as well, is to view it as a lifestyle and to view yourself as that machine, that the inputs you put into it is the outputs that you're going to get out. And when I view myself as that, it's like I don't want to feel sluggish. I don't want to feel fucking brain fog. I don't want to not have energy and operate and like be excited about my business, because when you don't feel on point, you're not excited about business. When you're on point, when you're high frequency, when your energy is through the roof, when you're jumping up out of bed ready to attack the day, life is so much better. Your business grows so much quicker. So I think that's a big kind of thing that the last year or so I noticed. It was like just getting rid of it. Or if I do have a meal out, I'll go meet my missus. We'll go for like a steak. I will have a burger and chips sometimes. I will have fucking pizza sometimes. I'm not saying I'll never eat this stuff, but I'm like, just on the certain occasions, like it's Christmas, I'll go home. I'm sure there's going to be loads of food. I'm not going to be fucking to the point where I'm not enjoying food. I will, but I just won't overindulge to the point where I feel sick and just feel shit. And inflammation is another huge thing. I used to have like junk food or takeaways or like overconsume, and I'd just be inflamed. My joints would be inflamed. I'd be trying to run. My just body, brain. It was just a shit thing to do. Each Sunday, it just rode me off for the start of the week. So that's kind of where we're at. That's my philosophy. That's what I believe. But yeah, again, obviously I'm at the 4th stage. Now there's the prime, peak, reverse, and then the total control. I'm in that total control phase, so I've been through the other phases. And then once you're in that total control phase, it's easy to manage. It's so easy. You're just operating at a really, really high frequency, and you're a fucking well-oiled machine. So guys, if you liked the video, make sure to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And